Now, all of us love to be able to have the best home theater experience as possible. You want to be able to have more and more high quality cinema happening in your home. And that's become increasingly more possible throughout the years. And this year, there was a full lineup of TVs and projectors that we saw at CES. And this one is the one that I've been waiting for from the projector lines. This is the Hisense L9Q. And the L9Q is a wow projector. I describe it as when we turned it on, we said, wow. And every single time we turn this thing on, the absolutely image quality, brightness, black level, light detail, either daylight or nighttime is absolutely spectacular. So in today's video, we're going to take a look at all the features, all the capabilities. This is an ultra short, sharp looking projector as well. It looks really great. It's ultra short though, which means that just inches away from the wall, you're going to get a massive screen. So let's talk about the specs and then we'll go into the actual performance and you can see more about how it's performing. Because as you can see here, this thing performs extremely well during daytime and during nighttime. And if you're looking to replace your TV with something that's massive and just large, then this is definitely the way to go. Now, the Hisense L9Q has a 5000 ANSI lumen, and basically that translates that this can replace a TV. We're running it in daylight in our living room, and you don't need a TV. This is bright enough where it's a substitute for it, and anybody who sees it thinks that it's a TV, just a really, really large one. It has a triple laser technology, giving you the ability to go from 80 to 200 inches. And what I've noticed with this specific projector, as I have had other Hisenses that I've reviewed as well, is that the distance between the wall and the screen size ratio is even smaller than ever before. I actually had to take the actual projector and the actual counter where we have them, like a little TV stand, and move it closer to our wall because where I had my previous Hisense, it was just too big. It was just covering too much of the area. So I had to push it in, and that translates to you and to me that you need less distance away from the wall to get a massive screen. And let's face it, not everybody has the distance or the space to do that. So we're talking about just inches away from the wall. And you're going to see how many inches, and we were looking at a 120-inch screen without a problem. Now, this is a 4K UHD type projector, 110 BT.2020 compliant, right? Which, all these buzzwords and technology terms basically means that you're going to have one of the best viewing experiences that you could expect from a projector of this class in your home. And I'll tell you, this is eye candy. This is truly eye candy. 5,000 to 1 contrast ratio. You can look at the throw ratio here. High refresh rate. Also the actual life of this projector, 25,000 hours. You're never going to watch more content on this machine than the machine can handle. And it's smart. We're talking auto smart everything. So auto alignment. It has manual keystoning. It has all these different type of capabilities that are going to allow setting up this projector super easy and pain-free. It also then supports, HDR10 plus, HDR10, HLG, IMAX. It's just you have to see it in order to understand how great this projector looks. And recognizing that this is a significant investment for a home, this is kind of, again, it's not a system that has to be in a theater, but it's something that could be anywhere. So I want to take you into this projector. We'll take a look at all the features and the capabilities. We'll see how it performs because, it is a TV in the box. Given that it has Google TV built in, it supports all your streaming services. If you think about Netflix, if you think about Hulu, if you think about Disney, think about all those type of services that you're interested in, they're all there. And given the size, given the screen size that it projects, the brightness, and the fact that this can be used during the day, it is an excellent buy. So we'll take a closer look at it. We'll see all the features, and you'll see why I'm so excited about this projector. Again, it's a great projector, and the overall performance in light, in dark, and anything in between was just great. So let's get right to it. Now, first of all, I love the color treatment. One of the things that Hisense is known for, especially in their latest lines, is having this LED light treatment that basically is almost like a night light. It's a very moody. It's really nice looking. I love the color itself. And just want to show you how close this thing is to the wall. So I'm going to put a tape measure right here. And we're going to look at the back tip of it. So it's around 9.5 inches away from the wall. 9.5 inches. So if you're wondering, do I have the space in order to have an ultra short throw projector? The answer with this one's absolutely, because if you can spare 9.5 inches from the wall, you're going to be able to get a 120-inch screen like I have, or 120-inch image.
You have really nice grill treatment here on the side, a lot of little accent points. You have your power button right here, so it's really simple in that area. And then you have a really nice finish in the front that is just really classy. And I don't know if this is going to come off on video easily, but there are like some different points there. Let's see if I can zoom in there so you guys can see that right there. So you can see the actual grill area is just, it has the little holes, but it doesn't really have holes starting evenly. There's like a pattern to it. It starts really light over here, and then it gets a lot more dense when it comes to the pattern, and then it opens up again when you have the Hisense logo. The design language in this is very premium. It looks like a really high-end product that you don't want to have hidden away. This is a showcase piece. So I really love the fact that it looks so well, and it shows itself so well. And again, you can see that light LED here on the side. Let's pan down so you can see that just showing up. When it's darker, it shows up even more. So you can see hopefully right there what it looks like. So really, really nice accent, not disturbing or distracting in any way. Now on the top of the projector, you're gonna notice the same pattern that you saw in the front is here. So this is a really nice pattern as well. And again, just tying everything together. Again, the only thing that you have to worry about is this button right here, which is the on button. Everything else is controlled with the remote. But again, the design aesthetics are really nice. Also, when it comes to this isn't flat. This is raised. You'll notice here the curvature, which also gives it a really interesting look and gives it a little bit more depth right here. I don't know why it's done this way, but it's kind of neat. Most of the projectors I've seen are pretty flat here, but this has kind of like that little curvature, almost like a little wing, like an aerodynamic wing that makes it look really sharp. Now this projector runs really quiet too. We've been running this for now almost a month. And you'll notice that you have a lot of connectivity options there. So 4 HDMI ports in the back that are going to give you a lot of options for expandability. You know, PlayStation, Xbox, if you have them both, I do. Nintendo Switch, I do. So that's all 3 ports right there. And then if you wanted to have any kind of external service, fortunately, you know, with the Google TV system, you don't really need any. Love the quality that I'm getting from it, and I don't really have to connect anything else. You have optical, and then you have a USB there as well. I did get a recent firmware upgrade, and so what you're seeing here, the video quality is with the last firmware upgrade. I actually did a video. I've been working on the video for quite some time, and I had already done the video portion of the review and redid that because of the firmware upgrade. I wanted to make sure you guys are seeing the latest there. But this is what the back of the projector would look like. And again, has pretty standard, I would say, options when it comes to raising and lowering the front and the back of the projector. Pretty spectacular overall video experience. Still taking a look at the side of the projector, one other thing I wanted to highlight is, once again, you know, that really nice grill feature right here for sound that you have going on there, giving you, again, that immersive sound. This thing is loud. It is really loud. As I mentioned earlier, I'm running this at 20 because it's just so loud, but loud in a good way. Now, Hisense has always done a really nice job when it comes to the remotes. And this remote, you can see it is illuminated. As soon as you touch it, it lights up. It has all your standard controls, you know, volume, channel. It has your mute button here, back, jog wheel. And then it has some short controls here. Netflix, you have also, YouTube, Disney, Amazon Prime or Prime TV or Prime Video, and then you have one that you can personalize. I don't see many companies that give you one that you can personalize, which I really like, and we actually do that. The remote feels substantial. The remote uses two AAA batteries that are hidden in the compartment there, and it doesn't feel plasticky at all, and it's very responsive. You can see how, you know, the screen is just popping. You can hear the pop noise, and you can see the reflection of it just moving as I'm moving it left and right. Really, really nice remote. Now, we've been testing this Hisense projector for several weeks now. This isn't an out-of-the-box, hey, what did we think? But we actually have been using this as our viewing experience, like watching TV, watching movies together as a couple, and then really criticizing how well the projector performs. I have to say that when I first plugged it in and powered it on, I had a wow moment. Every single time I power up this projector, I have a wow moment. It's 9 a.m. in the morning, and look at how well this thing is performing. So the number one question I get from projectors, from folks asking about projectors, is, can it be a TV replacement? And you just look at it. Absolutely it can. This could be it. And look at how well this showcases. The blacks are there, the reds are there, the blues are there. It's vivid, it's bright, the white text is crispy. And I am standing right now, we're shooting this around 20 plus feet away from the screen. And look at how amazing it looks. The windows themselves, you can see that it's daylight. There's a lot of light coming in. And during the day, this is great. It's amazing. And at night, it's even more. I will put it into the spectacular range. So a lot of great overall performance. What we're going to do is we're going to go in and start looking at some of the settings here so you can see what the projector is capable of. And again, the big thing is, and let's go back for a second. This projector supports all the major streaming services. And I get that question all the time. What about Netflix? What about Hulu? What about Prime? What about, it does it all. So you don't have to worry about not having the streaming service that you want. More importantly, you don't have to connect anything to this. This is just going to work. It has all your streaming services built in. So it's fully integrated. It's fully updated. Now, in addition to that, there is a lot more going on here. You have the ability to have shortcuts, quick buttons like you see right here. You also then have a lot of different picture modes. And there is a lot of, I would say, AI intelligence being put into these machines now that really change your viewing experience. So you can go from a standard picture mode, you could go to a sports picture mode, and you could go from that to an energy savings mode. And I'm seeing slight tweaks here, right, in the color profile, where things are changing slightly, going a little bit darker, a little bit lighter. Here's filmmaker mode. And the filmmaker mode is how the actual director intended the movie to be viewed. And I would challenge you, if you have been watching and you've been using standard mode, switch it to filmmaker mode and see how the movie was supposed to be seen. And you'd be surprised how many movies you'll want to watch over again. So, a lot of different settings that you can play with here, and we'll go back to the standard. You also have some audio features here that you can work with, right? You can change your audio mode from, standard audio. You can do a intelligent sound. You can do late night. You can do speech. And the speech feature is really important because if you've ever watched a movie, you're with your spouse or with your kids, and you go, what did they say? Because the action is so intense and there's so much things that are exploding. The speech feature highlights the vocal aspect or the vocal spectrum of the audio, which means now you can hear what's being said, but it doesn't take away from your overall experience. It's really interesting the way the technology works. You can have a music setting as well. And again, if you're watching music videos, we tend to listen to a lot of music. And what we do is we'll go ahead and run our projectors and let the sound. I have to say, this thing is loud. This is so loud, but not loud like it's screaming at you. It's loud as an immersive experience. I have to lower the volume a lot on this. And I want to see where am I at with this. Let me show you where I'm at. Look at the volume level that I'm at. I'm at a volume 20 because this is enough to fill up this room. And I sometimes have to lower it even more because it's so throaty and so powerful. So really, really have a good appreciation for that audio experience. Let's go back to, we're going to go back to the standard one that we're in. So here we have the intelligent sound. So a lot of cool stuff going on here that I really, really like. And you have a timer mode. And the timer mode, we don't really use that much because, when we're watching, this is not in a bedroom setting. We typically don't put this thing to sleep, or because this is in our main living room, and behind me, like I'm pointing this way, is my kitchen. So we can see from the kitchen, we can see the TV. So, and given that this is a 120 inch, by the way, 120 inch elite ALR screen, that's a ambient light rejection screen that rejects about 90% of the, I would say, the light around it, but then really is good about picking up the light coming from the projector, the image coming from the projector. So let's go back up. I went out of that menu because I have something else I want to show you. You also have some laser settings here that you can work with. And again, this is the quick shortcut area to go into your projection mode, which there are several, right? You can do front, back, you can do a lot of different adjustments. You have keystone, auto keystone correction, you have manual keystone correction, you have also focus adjustment, eye protection. This does support 3D, so you can turn that on and off, and you can see the features here. You have a turbo mode as well, and this is going to be something that can decrease, again, the input lag, so if you want to do gaming. And then you have your ultra sharp mode. And again, all these auto keystone correction makes it simple so that when you're projecting on the screen, there's really nothing that you have to do in order to get the best image possible. Now, given the size of this projector's image, what I've also noticed with this line is that the projector has to be incredibly close to the wall to get a 120-inch image. I am literally inches away from the wall, and I'll show you in a little bit how close I am. But it is super close to the wall and still have a massive screen. Now, what I could have probably had, you'll notice that I'm cutting off on the bottom, and that's because my ceiling doesn't have the wall height. But what I could do is if I had a lower console, I would be able to get the image all the way in the bottom because just, the actual display is so powerful. You also then have your output, right? So you can do actual various output choices. You could do optical, you could do your speakers, you could do, always a TV speaker type configuration. We have picture profiles here that you can work with. You can go from vivid, we'll switch to standard, to sports, energy savings. And I'm seeing certain things. I don't know if the camera's going to be able to pick this up, but there's subtle differences to the warmth and the color profile. You have a theater mode. You have a filmmaker mode, which is how the actual director intended the movie to be viewed. And I would encourage you guys to try that out because that's really interesting to see how these work. We'll go back to the standard setting. And by the way, you saw there, you can also incorporate that to specific inputs coming into the projector. You will have your sound, which we have right here. So your sound effects, if you want to go ahead and play with that, Dolby Atmos. You have this sound mode that they have as well, this intelligent sound mode. You have advanced settings that you can play with. Again, this is going to be able to, really help. And this is a cool feature. So if you ever find that something needs to be synchronized because it's not in sync, you could go ahead and adjust that as well. Going back into this area, because these are all the unique settings that you'll find in the projector. And again, you have some configuration choices there. Oops, I went a little bit too far. We'll go into settings again. And the settings is just a shortcut that's going to take you, again, back to the screen. Now, I'm going to go ahead and play a test reel or a test trailer that I normally use when I'm working with videos that could highlight, again, a lot of the capabilities of the projector. Now, the screen that you're going to see here is a test reel that I put together that really highlights several areas of the projector, the capabilities. One of the things I personally, and I think a lot of people are with me, love to be able to see very rich, colorful views, like high saturation. I'm a high saturation guy. I'll just say it. And I love the way this image looks. I love how crispy it is. I love how the reds are so vibrant. I love the overall colors are amazing. And I'm hoping that it's coming as clear as I see it. The other thing I like looking at is white level detail. So notice in the background that you can see some leaves there in the background. Other projectors will not show that there's something in the background, especially if it's white. There's such thing as the white level detail that can be lost. This projector is doing really well showing what's behind there. Keep in mind that there's also black level detail as well. And here what we're actually testing out is actual motion, how fluid and how easy the content is coming across, and if there's any lags or stutter. Now, when we come to details, both white level detail and also black level detail, it's amazing how much you don't see on normal TVs or normal projectors that is being missed. And I have literally I've gone back when I find a projector that showed me something I never saw before. I'll go back and watch a movie that I've seen before just to see what I missed in the dark scenes. So think about the alien movies, think about space movies, think about any movies where there's a lot of dark scenes. There is a lot of set detail that gets missed. And this is what a lot of people who actually analyze this stuff, they either talk about foreshadowing, or they talk about, just different cues that are in the actual scenery that either speak about something coming or about some type of past genre that they're just recognizing. But you can see here the projector performs very, very well in all those. Black level detail is far superior. White level details are there. The fact that this is pumping out this kind of brightness in this type of room with the challenges that you see on the sides there with the light is spectacular. And the overall color quality. Now, I've been using this on our Xbox, our PlayStation, our Nintendo Switch, and it does well in all those scenarios. But again, this is a higher end projector. The projector can work extremely close to the walls. This is probably the closest projector that I have when it comes to wall to screen size from that ratio perspective. And again, just look at this. I really, really hope that this is being captured with the clarity and the vibrancy that I see in the room. And I have a light source behind me. I'm pointing behind me. So there's light behind me because there's an open kitchen with a light on. I have 6 windows, 2, 4, 6 windows, and I'm in a well ambient lit room, and this is what you get. Love the Hisense brand, and this is going to be an amazing projector for us to continue to consume and just enjoy content for a very long time. Again, look at this. Look at this. This is amazing. Look at the actual detail in the bricks. Look at the details in the ceiling. And this is what we're talking about, right? Having this kind of viewing experience. And here are some night shots of wonderful city. And again, just amazing. Highly, highly recommend this projector. The screen and projector performance are spectacular. And what else can you say? It's a great projector that's going to cover all of your streaming needs.
So guys, that wraps up our review. See you in the next video.